the water in the sink as soon as it gets dirty.
Well, what? You think I was going to wait till the end of the shift?
What are you doing?
I've known him since he was this big.
It's a mouse! No pests or pets are allowed in the kitchen. No roaches or rodents are welcome. In fact, we need to exterminate them.
No!
Oh, not him. Get him out of here. We all need licensed pest controllers. And beware of those who aren't licensed. It could be dangerous and illegal. Now, who saw where the mouse came out from?
Behind those boxes?
Cardboard boxes. Roaches and rodents, they love cardboard boxes. Get rid of them. And make sure you tell your manager anytime you see pests. Now it's time for our final breakdown checklist. Double check your station, make sure everything is done. Wipe all puddles from the refrigerator shelves. Make sure everything is covered. Sinks and dishwashing machines must be drained and cleaned. Trash must be put out and the liners changed. Floors must be clean and free of boxes and water. Once again, our mission has been accomplished. You have proven to be great food surgeons. Our job is done today, but hey, let's keep it clean out there.
Good morning, kitchen surgeons. Your mission is to avoid cross-contamination at all costs.
What's going on?
What?
Cross-contamination is the transfer of harmful germs from one food item to another. You must succeed with this mission. Lives are at stake. This microwave will self-destruct in 3 seconds. Good luck.
What? What did I do now?
Hey, Chef, you wouldn't believe what just happened, but, have you ever heard of something called cross-contamination?
Cross-contamination. Boy, does that bring me back. You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Larry. Did you know that most cases of foodborne infections can be traced to some sort of cross-contamination? Without our knowledge, we could be part of a big chain that just carries germs from one place to another.
Oh, you mean we're like buses, transporting germs from one place to another?
Yes, Dad. Something like that.
But how can we avoid cross-contamination if we're always on the move and we're doing different jobs?
Is there a way to eliminate this problem? There must be something we can do. I don't want to make anybody sick.
Well, I do have some ideas, but I'm going to need your help. Now, while we're working, we'll pay very close attention to our jobs and try to catch ourselves before we make a mistake. Remember, this is our operating room, and we must think like surgeons. The easiest way to avoid cross-contamination is to keep your hands clean. Remember, it's important to use a fingernail brush.
After you go to the bathroom.
And when we first come into the kitchen.
Exactly. And to always wash our hands with soap and warm water whenever we're changing tasks.
Yeah, like when we go from handling raw meat to handling raw vegetables.
Yeah, but raw vegetables aren't the only thing that we have to be careful of.
What else?
Any food that has been cooked or washed and is ready to be served has got to be completely free of any germs coming from other sources.
Is there a way that we can break down food into groups that we should be careful about?
Yeah, you know, I've heard of that.
There is, and it's called potentially hazardous foods. And it includes ready-to-eat fruits and produce, ready-to-eat prepared foods, any animal product such as red meat, poultry, fish, dairy, and another one, unpasteurized eggs. But really, all food is potentially at risk from cross-contamination.
That's a lot to think about.
I got a delivery for you.
Be right there. Staff and Scott, go get our delivery.
Chef, about the microwave over there?
Yeah, I know, it tends to act up every once in a while, but right now we can't afford a new one.
Yo, Laura,
What?
remember how Chef was talking about critical foods and how we should, like, always keep them separate?
Yes?
Well, Staff and Scott are picking up the delivery, and you know how distracted those two can be.
You're right. And that microwave is going to hold us responsible for any mishaps.
Let's go.
All right, one back, a little further. Hey, go get the card. Come on, whoa, that's good, that's good.
You were right.
Man, I can't believe it. Hey, we saw what you two were doing out there.
What are you talking about?
You were mixing all the foods. That can be very dangerous. Plus, it puts our mission in danger.
Mission? What mission? Besides, we're still gonna wash and cook all these foods.
I know, but keeping the foods separate at all times helps stop cross-contamination from the start.
Oh, I guess you're right. I should be more careful. Hey, what other times have you two been watching me?
If you put the raw meat on top, the juice can drip on top of the lettuce you're putting on the bottom.
Oh, my. How could I be so careless? The bacteria from the raw meat could touch food that's ready to eat. I feel terrible. What am I going to do? They're going to get rid of me.
Scott, why don't you just switch? Put the lettuce above the raw meat.
You're right. I'll do that. And I'll take this whole carton and clean them. Remember, this never happened.
I saw how well you stored and separated the food that arrived today. You did a good job. Remember, we can't fix what happened to the food before it gets to us. But once it's in our hands, we have to take responsibility.
Well, what kind of germs can we get from raw food?
The chicken can have either salmonella or another bug called Campylobacter. Ground beef has the famous hamburger bug, E. coli. And fruits and vegetables can have germs that they picked up from the fertilizers. We must remember to keep our instruments clean at all times. Now, this includes all of our utensils, such as knives, spoons, ladles, tongs, cutting boards, pots and pans, basically anything that comes in contact with the food.
So any area that comes in contact with the food must be clean.
Yes, that's very important. Food contact surfaces must remain free of germs. And we always have to be careful that nothing dirty comes in contact with it.
So food is the main cause of cross-contamination?
Yes, as well as your hands. Like when you're tasting food. Don't stick your finger into anything you cook. Taste it with a clean spoon once, and don't sip from the cooking spoon.
I wouldn't put that there if I was you.
Why not?
Laura just finished cutting some chicken. That could cause cross-contamination.
You know what? You're right, Staff. I got distracted. You know, I underestimate you sometimes.
Oh, he's bright.
Yeah, right.
Very good, Laura. Did you remember to clean your cutting board when you were done?
I forgot, but I'll go do it now.
That looks like you're too late. Larry's cleaning it now with that head of lettuce.
Oh my God, Larry, no!
I'm happy to see how greatly we have improved our habits in this kitchen. As tough as it is to keep food from becoming a source of contamination, we've done a great job.
It's not hard if you pay attention to your chores.
And I'm really impressed with Staff and Scott for preventing a clear case of cross-contamination with that cutting board.
Well, the important thing is that we accomplished our mission.
Oh, yeah. The talking microwave, huh?
So now it's time for our nightly review. Let's think about what we learned today. Cross-contamination means getting germs from raw food onto cooked food or other sterile foods. The most common problems are mixing raw and cooked food, when juices from meat, especially chicken and ground beef, spill or drip into cooked food, when we don't clean our cutting boards and knives, and not using good work habits. So let's remember to be careful and keep our food healthy. Oh, I'm sorry, you can come in. I was just trying to cordon this area off because it's become a danger zone.
Danger zone?
A danger zone, I mean that an item of food prepared in this kitchen last night has become unsafe to eat.
What do you mean by food being unsafe? We buy our food from approved suppliers, and we keep our kitchen very clean.
And we make sure to wash our hands.
And we even soak our dishes and utensils before putting them in the dishwasher.
What? Someone left the chili out?
Yes. Very good, staff.
Yeah?
Time of death is recorded at 5:30. Cause, germ overload. Case closed.
A pot of chili was left out the entire night?
Hey, it could happen to anyone. Wasn't me?
That's not important. What is important is that we talk about what some of us call out of temperature, or the danger zone, when food becomes unsafe.
And how does food fall out of temperature, Chef?
When cooked food remains between 140 degrees and 40 degrees for more than 2 hours. Somebody get rid of that chili.
I'll do it.
Very well. Does anyone know what a germ really looks like? Good. Because we have a microscope to show you. Now, without the power of these magnifying lenses, one cannot be privy to the secret world of nature's near invisible membranes. Okay, all right.
Hey.
Shall we take a look? What we are looking at is a bunch of really tiny and potentially dangerous bugs. And like other bugs, basic needs must be met for them to survive and multiply. One of those basic needs is the right temperature, or in this case, the wrong temperature. Now, germs can double their number every 20 minutes. So you see, in 2 hours, we're giving germs that naturally live in food way too much time to grow and to multiply, consequently contaminating our food.
But we can't get rid of them, right? The bacteria, I mean.
Yeah, just make sure you cool the food quickly, just under 40 degrees, or heat it just above 140 degrees.
Well, yes and no. I mean, we can kill almost all the germs when we cook our food over 140 degrees, but not all. The ones that remain, when we start to cool, they start to breed again.
So we can't get rid of them?
Not completely. However, the idea is to keep the germ count at its lowest possible level. See, our bodies are strong. We can take on some germs, but when there's way too many of them, we're in trouble.
Here you go, Chef. Is this enough?
This is fine. This is fine. Okay, before we get into learning about time and temperature, let me show you something very interesting about germs. Put your hand out, Steph.
Hey, dinner's on me tonight.
Now, remember to wash after, okay?
What are we doing, Chef?
Okay, you just saw me give Steph a penny. Now, if we double that penny every 20 minutes, we would have...
In 20 minutes, he would have the amazing amount of 2 pennies.
I don't get it.
Just bear with me, okay? In 40 minutes, he has 4 cents. In 60 minutes, he has 8 cents. In 80 minutes, 16 cents. Now, if we jump to 2 hours, he would have 64 cents.
That's a time limit for food to stay in the danger zone.
In 4 hours, staff will have $40.96. Over 4,000 times the amount he started with.
Hey, I'm running out of hand here.
In 6 hours, he'll have $2,621.44. And at the end of a normal shift, 8 hours, we come to a total of $167,722.16. You are welcome to do the math yourselves.
So that's how many germs are made in only 8 hours.
So, where are you taking us for dinner, staff?
To the Ritz, everyone.
Right here, where I'm standing, in front of all these dry goods, I happen to be in a very safe place away from germs. For you see, germs do not like dry goods. They like moist foods, like
Dairy products.
Chicken and meat.
Fruits and vegetables.
Stews and sauces.
and those are some of the foods that you must keep an eye on. You know, it's funny, isn't it, that the improper cooling of cooked foods is the #1 cause of foodborne illnesses? I just realized that we've been talking about how time and temperature affects germs. But what we haven't explained is how important it is to make sure that your temperatures are correct. Now, what we have here is an example of how tricky it is when you try and cool foods. Now, this 40-quart pot of soup was just pulled out of the walk-in. It's been there for 2 days.
Pot is cold.
Notice I take the temperature from the center, and it reads 86 degrees.
What? It's been in the walk-in for 2 days.
How is that possible? Well, I doubt very much if this soup was stirred often at all. See, the outside layers, they're nice and cool. But the center, whew, that's a different story.
2 days?
1 penny doubled every 20 minutes, that's 8 cents. 8 hours is 167,000. So carry the 1. 2 days, it's 48 hours. Wow! That's 22 dosikillion germs. That's 22 with 42 zeros behind it. Well, you told us to do the math.
Staff, it's another one for the morgue. Okay, proper cooling is easy. Remember to do it even when you're busy.
Refrigerate hot items right away. Don't let it sit out.
If the pot's too big, there's still a way. Break it down if you can.
Transfer the stuff to a shallow pan and keep it less than 2 inches deep.
Stir the soup and sauces to spread out the heat.
You can ice your big pot and cool it complete.
Chef,
Yeah.
I wanted to let you know about that pot of chili. I was the one who left it out.
Well, the important thing is you caught it before it was served. Can you imagine what the cost of someone's medical bill would be? And go give me that pot over there. Very well. Now, the same way that we can tell our body's temperature, we can also read our food's temperature. And to make sure that your thermometer is accurate, it should be reading 32 degrees in ice water. Now, we stir the soup or sauce up really well. Take the thermometer and stick it in about 2 inches deep and read the temperature. Now, once the food has been cooled, it's very important to keep it cool. In order to do that, what do we have to do?
Make sure the fridge is working fine.
Keep the meat and fish on the bottom, where it's coldest.
Make sure the door is closed tight.
Beware of the danger zone. Don't let foods fall out of temperature.
That's when cooked food remains between 140 degrees and 40 degrees Fahrenheit for more than 2 hours.
Don't forget, germs double every 20 minutes.
Remember, improper cooling of cooked foods is the #1 cause of foodborne illnesses.
Transfer your hot food to shallow pans or put the pot on ice. And always remember to stir your sauces when cooling.
And finally, make use of thermometers and check if they're working properly. Okay, we've come to the end of our time and temperature episode. Speaking of time, we open in 5 minutes. So let's go. Come on.